Welcome to Lykken on Lending, the podcast that dives deep into the heart of the mortgage industry. Your host, David Lykken, bringing you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. Whether you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, this show is your go-to source for all things mortgage. Let's get started. This is Lykken on Lending. Now your host, David Lykken.
Welcome to another AI update with our special guest, Pavan Agarwal. Pavan, good to have you back, friend.
It's good to be here, David.
When we were together in Las Vegas, it was lost wages. As so many say, there were some big announcements made. The valuation we talked about in your previous podcast had a $119 billion valuation come in on your technology. But you also had some great guests at this announcement. There was the guy on the blockchain, the gentleman who spoke from blockchain, talking about the investments, talking about Bitcoin, talking about where things are going. That was insightful. And if you would share a little bit with our audience, and then want to get into what Bill was talking about with Angel AI.
Yeah, so we had two great speakers talking about blockchain. One was Lauren from UTXO. And UTXO is the company behind the Bitcoin consortium and the Bitcoin conference. And to put this in perspective, I was at the last Bitcoin conference in Vegas, and there was something like 30 or 40,000 people in attendance. We had amazing speakers like Vice President Vance was there, Murad Adams was there, the David Sachs and so all the who's who of the government and AI and crypto world were there. Michael Saylor was amazing. I mean, at that conference, he did a small private conversation with like about 30 of us in one room.
Wow.
Right. Directly from the horse's mouth. Right. The king of Bitcoin was there. Right. So so Taylor came to our event and gave a great insight on what's happening with Bitcoin and where it's headed. And there was some minor correction the last 2 weeks on Bitcoin, but I'm a firm believer is heading towards $1 million of Bitcoin.
Million? Did I hear you say that right? $1 million per coin.
Per coin, right? Right now it's at 100,000 ish, a little over 100,000.
Wow. Well, that was the thing that impressed me. The gentleman that spoke was what was his name again? The gentleman that spoke from Lauren. When Lauren spoke, he was talking about it having, a staggering valuation. Buys, he says, still the best investment. This is still in at cheap. And we look at everything from a historical perspective. I mean, it's hard to imagine it's going to continue to go up at that rate, but you're saying it, and I heard it there. Pay attention to it, listeners. So Bitcoin is here to stay, and what we're building on, and Angel Coin, you have the Angel wallet built now. I have mine. I'm very excited about that. And you are able to start getting into that whole blockchain part of the commerce. And how does that relate to mortgage lending? Yeah,
and that's the second speaker we had was Lakshmi Narayan.
Lakshmi, yes.
Yeah, and he's doing something super interesting. And he's at the forefront of this, and he's literally working with the SEC as they write the rules. Okay, wow. So he's got a seat at the table, and he's tokenizing the equity in real estate.
And he's starting on the commercial side initially,
right?
But it'll be coming to residential. But talk about what do you mean tokenization of equity? Explain that.
Right. So his family owns over $15 billion in real estate assets across the U.S., and they have a lot of equity locked up in that. That means, most of it is unlevered. Right. Okay. So $15 billion in real estate, but that's real estate, but it's not cash, right? You can't eat real estate, right?
That's right.
But the good news is that it generates cash, so you can eat that, right? So it spits off a ton of cash every month. Oh. And so what he wants to do now is like, hey, I got all this equity sitting there. What if I tokenize it? What if I create a coin that represents that equity, and I back it with stablecoin, right? And so he just did a deal. He just did a deal with Trump's company, the Liberty Coin, World of Liberty. Liberty. He just did a deal with World of Liberty because the World of Liberty just launched a stablecoin. So he's paired up his token which represents the tokenization of the real estate equity, with the World Liberty's stablecoin, and that then creates a new avenue of just basically anybody buying a piece of real estate, right? And you could buy a
You can
$5
buy a
piece,
little
right?
sliver of
Yeah,
a very
yeah,
luxurious
like
office building.
like this hotel I'm at the Wynn right now, and I don't know however many billions is worth, and I want to buy $1,000 piece of it. I can, and I can get that relative proportion of the income stream. Right, that's what he's doing, and that little piece of real estate that I buy, right, it's in my own bank because it's in my. All I got to remember is these 12 words, right? Literally, my entire wealth, right? No one can take it away from me because if I remember those 12 words, it's in my head, right? I could lose my phone, I could lose everything, but if I got those 12 words, right, I could fire up a wallet and get to all my assets, right? It's an exciting time.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't want to remember those 12 words, you could always get a bank to be a trustee for you. Right.
Well, we'll get into that in a future conversation. One of the other things that really captured my attention when we were together in Las Vegas during the big announcement, this big amazing party that you threw, was the angel twin. That, and Bill was there talking about how twins are going to start talking to each other, how the AI twin is actually going to be developing and doing a lot of communication on your behalf, but they're also going to be communicating with each other. Talk about that, please.
Yeah. So the twins, this already happening. And Bill, Angel Twin and Bill's, we put up a lot of videos of twins talking to twins. And it's just right now the use case for twins talking to twins, it's like that's going to be effective when everyone has a twin or more people have twins, right? It's just like in the early 90s, you had an email address, right? It was kind of like that was more of a novelty because like, oh, I got an email address, and very few people had one, right? But once everyone had an email address, now you can't live without it. So that's the same idea with twins. Right? As more people get twins, it's coming very soon, very rapidly coming to the point of twins talking to twins. Yeah. And that's in a simple way to say it, it's like your email and auto response. The email on the other side sends you an email and you auto respond with the response, right? Although that's not super useful, not perhaps the best analogy, but it's the closest way to think about it. But imagine all you'd have to do is tell your twin, hey, make my dentist appointment for next week. Right, and your twin calls up the dentist's twin and negotiates what time is best available, right? And your twin your twin has your personal information, right? Because in your twin vault, okay, and that's in your wallet, in your personal twin vault has got all your medical records, right? So your twin's reading through the medical records. It's already told the dentist's twin what you're allergic to. It's already told what the condition is and what the previous dentist said and all that kind of stuff. It's going to have that communication, send the information over to the other twin, and based on that, you can say, okay, yeah, that's going to take the dentist's twin is going to say, well, that's going to be a 2-hour procedure, and I got a time slot on next Wednesday at 4 p.m.
All this is going to be going on behind the scenes.
Right. And all that would happen behind the scenes with you just giving a single command saying, hey, I got a toothache.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And the best part about your twins, about you having a twin, yes, the twin itself is cool. Like, hey, it's my AI twin, looking like me, talking like me. But the best part about it is all the data that drives a twin, right, is literally yours. It's in your wallet, and only you have the keys to it. Okay, that means not Google, not Meta, not Microsoft, not even us. It's only you. It's on chain. That means only you have it, and only you have it. And you control the permissions as far as what your twin can say to somebody else.
What are the implications for this for mortgage industry? We now have twins talking, or an originator's twin is talking to a consumer's twin, and gathering up documents. It's going to make the whole lending process so much easier.
yeah, it makes the whole lending process easier, but it takes it one step further. It's a life of loan process. It's a life process, a financial life process easier. I mean, if you just take a look at the word mortgage, right? Mortgage is actually two words combined together. Mort is life,
Yeah.
and gauge is contract, right? It's a life contract. So why is it that when you sign and you sit down at the closing table and you sign your mortgage and you're entering this life contract, okay, why aren't you at that point? Why isn't the AI telling you, hey, have you thought about a will, right? Right? Have you, hey, I just analyzed all of your expenses and your income, and I just looked at your tax return, and do you realize you're not taking all the deductions,
Wow.
right?
But simultaneously, all this is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly, right? Or hey, I can help you better budget plan your life because I see where I looked at your bank statements, I see what you're spending on. Why you go to Starbucks 3 times a day and paying $4 for coffee?
There not only is going to be transaction, and this is what Jeff Kramer was talking about, who is the head of customer experience. I'm looking over here because I had a slide up here of enterprise financial services at Google. He was talking about this right after I was with you. Then the next morning I was up and back at the MBA, and he was talking about people. He said it's so exciting about what's going to be happening, the multiple layers of conversations happening that's going to make the lending process. And it's really to a point where people that are not on board with this or doing the research and diving into this are going to be really left in the dark. They're just going to, it just won't even be comparable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way I hear what you're saying about, what's his name? Kramer?
Yeah. Jeff Kramer.
Jeff Kramer. I hear what you're saying about Jeff Kramer is saying, but Jeff Kramer is still living in the past where you're thinking about whether he's trying to answer the question, how do I layer in AI on my existing loan process?
Right. And he was talking about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're living in tomorrow where we've already solved the loan process, loan origination, AI-based loan origination is done. We solved it. We solved it a long time ago. Right. And so we're looking at, once the customer's in that loan mortgage process, right, he needs so much more support than just getting that loan across the finish line. It's again, mortgage is a life contract.
Yes.
And we want to be a lifetime financial support and financial wellness platform for him. Right. So he's one stop, he engages with the mortgage, but he walks out with his financial life complete in order and AI guided financial life, from everything from his student loans to his personal loans, his credit cards, his will, his taxes, right? Like the system, for example, you literally can drop in all of your receipts and your pay stubs and other 1099s, 1098s, and all that into the platform right now, and it'll prepare your 1040s for you.
Already prepared. Yeah, you're going to be doing that that's some of the things that you're working on with Angel AI, expanding the financial.
It's already done. The only reason we haven't released it is that we're waiting for IRS to approve our request for electronic filing.
Wow, staggering. You're going to be doing taxes. Not only that, are you tax returns? Not only are you doing credit repair, you're doing all these other services, full mortgage banking.
And the next product, which is going to be rolling out imminently, will be preparing your wills your wills and your trusts as you close on your mortgage. You're getting all these things prepared for you as well. And if you already have a will and a trust, or if you already have a trust, a lot of the loans that you do, as you know, in this industry, you have loans coming in in a trust, and you have to review the trust. Right, the AI will be able to go back and suggest that, hey, you should talk to your trust attorney about XYZ. Here's some areas where your current trust doesn't consider. Maybe it was written 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and it doesn't consider these new assets that you've acquired since then.
Wow, so exciting to see what the future looks like. We see it all the time through you, Pavan. So glad for you being here, giving us these insights into the future. You're already living in the future because you built the future with the Angel AI system. Thanks so much for being here, friend.
Thank you, David. Cheers.
You bet. Cheers.
You've been listening to Lykken on Lending. Our passion is to bring you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. So on this show, if you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, it's your go-to source for all things mortgage. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon. Take care, and we'll see you next time on Lykken on Lending.